My name is Ben Sachs. I'm an artist, inventor, and founder of Perceptoscope. With all the knowledge we carry with us in our pockets at every moment, how well do we really understand the place we're in, this immediate place? Every place has a hidden history or a potential on the horizon, but it's often difficult to see at the ground level. Perceptoscope is a new type of tool to help us better understand the places around us through augmented and virtual reality. And we do it in a kind of unique way. You're all probably familiar with this experience. Walking up, stepping up the rails, peering through it, spinning it. It's this imposing physical object that you encounter on a journey, and it lets you know that there's something there to be looked at. And with Perceptoscope, there's also a novel trick of optics that only you can see. A 360-degree augmented reality panorama, where you can superimpose information or objects into the space in front of you, 3D and optically. So imagine exploring lost architecture at a heritage site, or the potentials of sea change rising, or maybe even just letting you know a little bit more about where you are. We've gone through an open iterative design process where we build prototypes and play test them. So they start off a little bit makery and hacky, and then go into places that we never would have expected. This is an early proof of concept prototype that was met with joy and excitement at an interactive festival, but it came out of the process basically destroyed. With the help of the Knight Foundation and the community around local LA hackerspace Crash Space, we were able to build a new rugged prototype and take it on a playtesting journey to events and engagements around the city and the country. Most recently, I just finished up a Design for Manufacturing sprint as artist in residence at the Supply Frame Design Lab in Pasadena. This was an opportunity to really focus on scaling manufacturing workflows and design concepts. So things like sourcing our optics or kind of experimenting with eating our own dog food, designing in VR. We're an open source project, and you can check out our logs, our project logs that we've been documenting publicly on hackaday.io or at our website, perceptoscope.com. And there's a lot of features we're looking to explore in collaboration with the open source community. So things like 3D cameras, connecting to mobile devices nearby. We really see this as an open platform for interaction around a space. Because we're a combination of a lot of different types of organizations and businesses, we can take a more mission-driven approach. So we're incorporated as a mission-driven public benefit corporation. Moving forward as a cultural policy fellow through Arts for LA Activate, I'll be working over the coming months to design an action plan that we'll be presenting to local leaders throughout Los Angeles. And really the goal is to move up towards a cast metal production realm that can be used for permanent deployments around the city, the country, and the world. So, yes, thank you.
So, questions from the panel?
So what do we see, or is the content created by people? Is it by, we saw the machine, but I'm not sure.
Sure, yeah, so it's augmented reality. I don't know how many of you are familiar with things like the HoloLens and stuff like that. But essentially, we're building an open platform for these experiences. So you could be superimposing people, objects, architecture, really anything. It's kind of designed to be open. So yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example that could help with the people idea, but imagine at a historical site being able to, I always think of Gettysburg. You have this big empty field and this amazing battle that unfolded. Looking out onto that field, you might be able to actually see it happen. So that's kind of the idea.
What is the benefit of having it take place in this fixed stationary object as opposed to an AR that's in a phone as an important?
There's a lot of things about it. I mean, for one, it's something that you can't miss when you're there. With AR phone experiences, there's an expectation that you have to know there's an experience there, download an app, load it up. It's just asking a lot out of the individual user. This is more about something that surprises you when you come upon it, especially because it's giving you an experience that you probably haven't experienced before. The other thing about it secretly that we're doing with this form factor is taking advantage of a lot of things it can do to make augmented reality better. So for HoloLens, it's this headset you wear, but the field of view is really small. And trying to make things into a wearable has often meant that you're limiting what the experience can be. And so by being a fixed object in a space, I can focus on really powerful computing, really great optics, and I can also take advantage of the mechanical range of motion, which gives me absolute positioning. So just from a computer vision perspective, it's a huge advantage.
There's a thought for me around the social implications of this as a tool to uplift underserved narratives of particular places. But then that takes me to accessibility. And the images in the slide show the Perceptoscope in places that feel more, like touristy. Like, okay, fine, it's on the top of a building and we get to look out and see where an old stadium used to be, but are you thinking about this as a potential tool to uplift narratives that serve communities where displacement is happening as a way of maintaining cultural legacy or cultural literacy?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the ultimate goal, is to put it in places that you can really surprise people because it's there, and also to give you an opportunity to document that neighborhood's history or location and really look at a place from a very local storytelling perspective. That's absolutely the goal. A lot of the reason we've been in places like the ones we've been in have had more to do with the fact that we're still kind of in a development phase, or a research and development phase. And so we're just starting to really tool up to having devices ready to go out for long-term deployments in public spaces where we can trust it'll continue to work and survive.
To pick up on some of those comments, it's quite striking, the potential for a very activist approach to this.
Absolutely.
And that the content could be really problematic for a lot of people in a very important and good way.
Yeah.
And I think that then raises the question, again, of the issue of it being stationary and fixed, and where is it, who creates the content, and how does that, what level of sophistication is needed for me to say there was a police shooting on that corner,
right,
and I'm going to tell that story through using this tool, and I want everyone to have access. I'm not very sophisticated, in that particular set of tools. So how can you make it more accessible in that way?
Yeah, I mean, the reason, I totally agree with you, and a lot of the reason why I approach this as a public arts initiative rather than just like a pure business was that I want it to be something that would be used for directed action. So,
and with that, we'll just have to leave it at directed action. And thank you.
Thank you.